Simplissime Cancellari, placetni tibi at officium incipiat.
Placet.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Please remain standing for the prayer of invocation given by the Reverend Canon George Porter, who is the Anglican chaplain with UNB's campus ministry.
Let us pray. We rejoice and give thanks for this day of celebration. We give thanks for the blessing of each graduate. Bless them with strength, fortitude, and endurance. We give thanks for each student, every hope and dream that dwells within them. Keep us ever mindful of our simple and sacred connections as we move forward into a world in need of hope and vision. Amid great challenges, we are grateful for the courage to meet them with accomplishments both great and small. We are deeply thankful for support, love, and encouragement offered by family and supporters who have made this day and this experience possible. Their sacrifices and dedication give us even greater cause to rejoice. We give thanks for those around us who lovingly nudge us forward, and we lift up the faculty and staff in gratitude for their dedication to serving others in their work, spending their lives challenging young minds, caring for our campus and shaping our world. We celebrate with mindfulness the freedom to think, the freedom to grow, and the freedom to live. For all this, as well as thanks unspoken, we say amen.
Please be seated. Members of the Board of Governors, Mr. President, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and most importantly, graduates, welcome to the 57th Convocation ceremony at the University of New Brunswick in Fredericton, and the first fall convocation in this fine and important building. Many of you may not know this, but UNB extends far beyond our two main campuses in Fredericton and St. John. The university offers courses and programs and has satellite campuses in other parts of Canada and in Europe, Africa, the Caribbean, and South Asia. Today we have a graduate from our MBA program in Kiev, Ukraine. So on behalf of all of us here at UNB, welcome to the Fredericton campus, and we thank you for coming all this way to share this moment with your fellow students. UNB may be the smallest national university in Canada, but its reach is global. The university continues to hold its own with the big boys. It may be small, but it takes a back step to none. You know, we all share a common bond like you. I'm a UNB grad, the first of 3 universities I attended, and I've never forgotten what Beaverbrook and UNB gave to me. This university will always be special, and those of you out there like me with a few miles on you, you know that the first in anything is special. You may have noticed the painting in the lobby bears a resemblance to me, but this building in no way is here as a monument to me. It's here to have a positive impact on the educational and recreational lives of the thousands of students who will use it now and in the years to come. I want to say to the graduates that the experiences you've had at UNB have been shaped by centuries of thought, custom, practice, and applied wisdom. You are the beneficiaries. of the knowledge handed down through generations of students, faculty, staff, and alums who have been associated with this university since 1785. I want you to be proud of its heritage and proud that you are graduates of this great institution. As I look out into the crowd, I see future leaders, visionaries, innovators. I urge you to think for yourself. Don't follow the crowd. Don't accept common knowledge, which I have always found rarely to be knowledge and always to be common. Let me give you an example of common knowledge from today's headlines. The proposed Keystone XL pipeline, which will take oil from Alberta's oil sands to refineries in the U.S. Gulf Coast. Its protesters call it, quote, this incredibly dangerous carbon bomb. The facts are that only 1 part in 1,000, 1 part in 1,000 of global carbon emissions come from our oil sands. Here in New Brunswick, Donald Savoy suggests a study to determine the effects of obtaining natural gas by fracking. Who could disagree with that suggestion? But when it comes to Keystone XL, the United States State Department, after 3 years of study and an 8-volume report, has determined, quote, there would be no significant impact to resources along the proposed project corridor, end of quote. Common knowledge says oil sands and pipelines are bad and should be protested, led by movie actors and 1960s retreads. Scientific knowledge says otherwise. Protesters remind me of an old saying, don't confuse me with the facts, my mind is made up. Now, UNB had a responsibility to provide you with the best education possible, and that it has done. Your opportunities for achievement are limitless. All you need now is to have the courage to pay the physical and emotional price of that achievement. I'd like to leave you today with some advice, some words of wisdom that I've learned throughout my lifetime. Take them from one of your own. I want you to chase your dreams, pursue your ideals, take risks, trust in yourself, bet on yourself. If you don't, you can be sure nobody else will. I can't give you the secret of success, but I can tell you the cause of failure. Try to please everybody. Congratulations. Enjoy the rest of your day and every day.
Thank you, Dr. Currie. At this time, I would draw your attention to the prize list on page 10 of the program that you have. On behalf of the university, may I congratulate all of the recipients and express the hope that they will maintain the high standards which they have demonstrated in qualifying for these awards all their lives long. I would now ask our Vice President Academic, Dr. Tony Secco, to announce the recipients of the medals.
The Governor General's academic medals were created in 1873 to encourage academic excellence across the nation. Over the years, they have become the most prestigious awards students in Canadian schools can receive. This afternoon, we will announce the recipient of the award representing the highest level of achievement, the Governor General's Gold Medal for Academic Excellence in Graduate Studies. All students completing a master's thesis or report or a doctoral program at UNB in a given year are eligible to be considered for the award. I am pleased to announce that the Governor General's Gold Medal for 2011 goes to Andreas Kreienbuhl, who has completed a PhD in mathematics. Mr. Kreienbuhl is unable to be with us this afternoon due to his commitments as a postdoctoral fellow in the Netherlands. Please join me in a round of applause in recognition of his remarkable accomplishment. Through the generosity of His Honor, the Lieutenant Governor, a silver medal is awarded to the outstanding graduating student in each of the university's 11 faculties on the Fredericton campus. The Medal for Education is awarded at the Fall Convocation. I'm pleased to announce that the Silver Medal in Education is awarded to Jenna Christine Granger.
At this time, we will confer the honorary rank of Professor Emeritus. The candidate will be presented by the Vice President Academic.
The Professor Emeritus distinction is awarded only to retired faculty members. Criteria for the honorary rank include teaching performance of exceptional merit, extensive research, publication of unusually high quality, creative contributions to the administration and development of the university, and a record of professional conduct that indicates fair and ethical treatment of students and other members of the academic community. Candidates must be approved by the university's Board of Governors. It is now my pleasure to invite Dr. Turner to come to the front of the platform. Dr. Stephen Turner, to be Professor Emeritus in History. Throughout his 39 years at the University of New Brunswick, Stephen Turner set the highest possible standards of professionalism and dedication as a productive researcher, distinguished teacher, and able administrator. Dr. Turner's record as a research scholar is outstanding. An historian of science, he has published 35 articles and book chapters and presented more than 50 papers at national and international conferences. After completing his PhD at Princeton on 19th century German university reform, Dr. Turner turned to the 19th century German controversy over the physics of vision, producing a highly praised book on the subject. More recently, his research focused on the history of agricultural biotechnology and genetic research on the potato. Also, a scholar of the history of pedagogy, Dr. Turner has been recognized as one of the university's best teachers. He received UNB's Alan P. Stewart Memorial Award for Excellence in Teaching, the Arts Faculty Teaching Award, and in 2007 was named a University Teaching Scholar. The recipient of a prestigious Humboldt Fellowship, Dr. Turner has held numerous research grants from granting agencies in 3 countries. An advisor and mentor for junior colleagues and graduate students, he excelled in administrative service as the History Department's Director of Graduate Studies and as Department Chair. He held a daunting number of university positions, including that of University Orator, and in retirement, he chairs the Research Ethics Committee, a commitment which reflects his generosity of spirit. Beyond the university, he has served for many years on the executive of New Brunswick SPCA. Dr. Turner's contribution to historical scholarship, to higher education in history and science, to the education of thousands of students, and to the broader UNB and New Brunswick communities have been profound. In every way, he deserves the title Professor Emeritus. Insignissime praeses, amplissime cancelari, tota universitas, commenda vobis Stephanum Turner, ut ei conferratus honoris causa, titulum professoris emeriti in hac universitate.
Ego confero tibi Stefano Turner, ab manera tua huic universitate diu, et insignitur expleta titulum ac statum professoris emerita in universitate Novi Brunswicki. We'll now proceed to the conferring of an honorary degree. The recipient will be presented by the University Orator, Dr. Gordon Mason.
Timothy Broadhead, to be Doctor of Letters. Tim Broadhead has had a long and distinguished career as a leading member of the community of non-governmental organizations, NGOs, in Canada. As a newly minted political science and philosophy graduate of McGill University, Tim went to teach at the University of Ife in Nigeria. In 1967, he became director of the Nigeria and West Africa programs of CUSO, Canadian University Service Overseas. And soon after that, he helped create ACCORD, an organization working for social justice across Africa, which is still a vibrant presence 40 years later. Returning to Canada in 1977, Tim co-founded Inter Pares, meaning among equals, which supports communities in Africa, Asia, and Latin America to create sustainable livelihoods through promotion of democratic, social, and economic policies. Furthermore, it seeks to combine social action in Canada with the work done abroad. Over the next 15 years, he was active on a number of fronts. He directed research for the North-South Institute, Canada's first independent research institute for international development. He was an advisor to CIDA, the Canadian International Development Agency, and for several UN agencies. He co-authored a book whose title posed the question, Bridges of Hope. For 5 years, he was executive director of the Canadian Council for International Cooperation, which represented over 120 NGOs. And I dare say along the way, he found himself an expert in the alphabet soup of acronyms, CUSO, CIDA, CCIC, and so on. All this experience made him a prime candidate to become president and CEO of the McConnell Foundation in 1995. This foundation was created in 1937 by J.W. McConnell of Montreal, an associate of Lord Beaverbrook, UNB's first modern-day chancellor. Mr. McConnell was a generous donor to UNB's residence system, and although he wished to remain anonymous, Lord Beaverbrook convinced him to accept the naming of the dining hall when it opened in 1961, coincidentally exactly 50 years ago. The foundation he created is one of the largest in the country, with a mandate to build a more resilient, inclusive, and sustainable society. Under Tim Broadhead's leadership, it reached new levels of professionalism and innovation. His presidency has been marked by a systematic, thoughtful approach to priorities, with a rigorous evaluation process to assess particular social outcomes. One area chosen was to transform university education, and it was under this umbrella that UNB successfully applied for funding to create Renaissance College, Canada's first leadership studies bachelor program, which welcomed its first class in 2000. In making the award, Tim described the proposal as unique and ambitious, and as many of you know, his faith has been justified by the highly favorable evaluations the programs have received. Tim is one of the most highly respected foundation executives in North America. His colleagues speak of his high standards, his passion for social justice, and his work in transforming how we take care of each other and our environment. In 2001, he was appointed an Officer of the Order of Canada. This year, Tim retired from his role with the Foundation, but continues to advise and volunteer extensively with like-minded organizations. He is currently president of the ETC Group, a nonprofit that addresses the socioeconomic and ecological implications of new technologies, especially for the world's poorest and most vulnerable. For his contributions to society in Canada and abroad, we are most pleased to award him this honorary degree today. Insignissime praeses, amplissima cancellare, tota universitas praesento vobis Timotheum Broadhead, ut admitator honoris causa ad gradum doctoris in litteris in hoc universitate.
Ego admitto te, Timotheum Broadhead, honoris causa, ad gradum doctoris in litteris in Universitatea Nowy Brunswicki. It is now my privilege and a great pleasure to invite Dr. Timothy Broadhead to address this convocation.
I hear cries even before I've started. Chancellor Currie, Vice Chancellor and President Campbell, distinguished guests, faculty, and most important, my fellow graduates. First and of course, most importantly, congratulations. I feel very honored to be included, however undeservedly, among the ranks of this latest and most typically distinguished group of graduates of the University of New Brunswick. It's a day to celebrate what you've achieved. My role is just to offer a few reflections, which will probably be forgotten, but that's all right. There's no test. As they say of the body at an Irish wake, it has to be there, but no one expects it to say much. What I reflected upon as I came to Fredericton was that this day, for those of you who are collecting your degrees or your diplomas, it probably contains both some good aspects and some not so good aspects. The good part is that you've succeeded, and you have the parchment to prove it. And now you can step out into the world. The not so good part is that there's no reason to loiter any longer in these beautiful surroundings, and indeed you have to step out into the world. You may have noticed that many of the professors who've been congratulating you don't show any similar hurry to leave the halls of academe, and maybe that should have been a bit of a warning. The world isn't a very welcoming place just now. As the American environmentalist Paul Hawken put it, there was a set of operating instructions for what Buckminster Fuller called Spaceship Earth, but we seem to have misplaced it. Simple things, like not poisoning the water or the air, not wiping out other species. Perhaps every generation faces a defining challenge. For my parents' generation, your grandparents, for most of you, I guess, it was the Depression and it was war. For my generation, I think it was the fight for social justice. We had some success. It's no longer considered acceptable to treat people differently based on the color of their skin, or their ethnic background, or their gender, or their sexual orientation. But I think we stopped too early. Perhaps we just got distracted, seduced by all the gadgets, all the opportunities to indulge ourselves. We became more engrossed, frankly, in our present than in your future. And now the bill is coming due. So what's the challenge facing your generation? That's really for you to say. Obviously, the battle for social justice isn't over, but there's some other big issues out there too now. We consume too much, too inefficiently, too wastefully. Our ability to design new technologies threatens to outstrip our capacity to use them for our betterment and for that of the planet. Our investment in war still vastly outstrips what we commit to improving people's lives. People say we must save the planet, but I think they're wrong. The planet will save itself. It's we who need saving. So perhaps that's That's the challenge facing your generation. And it's urgent. Sir Martin Rees, who's the president of UK's Royal Society, hardly a Wall Street occupier, you might say, recently stated that the chances of humanity surviving the 21st century are about 50-50. What a time of paradox. We understand better than ever before how individual opportunity and fulfillment are interlinked with collective well-being. Yet, Canadian society is growing steadily more unequal, and many analysts are talking of what they call the disappearing middle class. We have wealth undreamt of by previous generations, and yet we feel poor, and we begrudge investing in ways that would benefit those who come after. We have a greater capacity than ever before to connect, and we understand more now about how important connection, social ties are to people's physical and mental health. And yet, many people's lives are blighted by loneliness and isolation. Fortunately, you're well equipped to meet the challenge. And I refer not just to what you've learned here at UNB, but also to the incredible store of new knowledge that's being uncovered daily. Nanotechnology, neuroscience, genetic engineering, vaccines that may put an end to the scourge of malaria. It goes on and on. The key question is whether we'll have the wisdom to use this new knowledge for the benefit of the greatest number of people, or simply for the enrichment or empowerment of a tiny minority. These are the issues that you'll confront. And I venture to say that you'll do so not so much with the knowledge that you've gained here, because a lot of that's going to be out of date by the time you have your 5th graduate reunion, but especially the values and the relationships that you've created here. By values, I simply mean what we know to be right. For example, that the overriding economic priority now is not to get us back on the track of furiously producing and consuming, relying on debt to fuel economic growth, but finding ways to live within our means without sacrificing one iota of fulfillment or happiness. Pursuing the meaning of a good life, you might say, rather than buying a good life. I'm sure you've heard the exhortation to follow your dream or do just what you're passionate about. And some of you may be wondering just what your dream is, what your career path might look like. And if you're not sure, I'm here to reassure you. When I graduated, I had no idea what my career might be. I just wanted to be where the excitement was. And in the 1960s, that was in Africa. It was where countries and peoples were throwing off outside control and charting a new course for themselves. And after some 5 years, during which I contributed not very much and learned a great deal, I discovered that I'd found my career, or maybe it had found me. I was trying to understand change, what causes it, how it impacts people, and how to make the most of the opportunities it throws up. And in Africa, I learned that change isn't what happens to other people. Even though many of us may have gone there thinking that development was simply about helping others to be more like ourselves. But we don't live in a mechanistic world anymore of cause and effect. We live in a quantum world of complex interactions, a world in constant transformation. So don't fret too much about your career path. You make your path with every step you take and every choice you make. It won't always be easy. Certainly not as easy as going to an exotic place to do good for others. As the poet Mary Oliver states in her poem, The Journey, one day you finally knew what you had to do and began, though the voices around you kept shouting their bad advice. But little by little, as you left their voices behind, the stars began to burn through the sheets of clouds, and there was a new voice, which you slowly recognized as your own, that kept you company as you strode deeper and deeper into the world. As you stride into the world, remember two things. The world is changing, and even if it's painful at times for those of us who've been lucky enough to have many advantages and privileges, it's a good thing, because there's much unfinished business and much that needs improving. As the Indian writer Arundhati Roy wrote, "Another world is not only possible, she's on her way. On a quiet day, I can hear her breathing." And secondly, thanks to the knowledge, but especially to the values that you've picked up here, you are the ones who will define your generation's contribution to a better world. There's a giant sign hanging on the planet. It says, "Help wanted," and you're just the people it's been waiting for. Godspeed.
Thank you, Dr. Broadhead. You know, it's been my pleasure to visit Dr. Broadhead in his offices in Montreal when he headed up the McConnell Foundation, and I have to tell you, I thought he had one of the coolest jobs in Canada. He got to meet people who are really trying to make a difference in our world, build a better society for people who needed help, and he got to fund them, and he also got to pass them along his experience working with people across the country. It's a great honor to be here with you today, sir. One of the things we have used at the university, a kind of tagline, which we hope will apply to all of our graduates, make a significant difference. You have done precisely that. Thank you. We now proceed to the conferring of degrees in course. May I extend to all of you who will graduate here today the warmest congratulations of the university. When you first came here as a student, you became a member of the University of New Brunswick family. And today, all of this family, your teachers, your friends, your colleagues, your family, yes, even administrators, have gathered here today to share your pride in reaching this most important milestone in your life. We're here to recognize your hard work and your sacrifice, and to wish you every success and happiness in the future. We hope that you will always value what you have learned here, and that you will forever remember your alma mater with fondness and affection. As each of you receives your degree today, you will be presented with a University of New Brunswick alumni pin by the UNB Associated Alumni. We will begin the ceremony with the bachelor's degrees, followed by the master's, and then the doctoral degrees. Candidates for the bachelor's degrees will be presented by the university orator.
The bachelor's degrees of Arts, Applied Arts, Science, Science in Engineering, Science in Environment and Natural Resources, Business Administration, Science and Kinesiology, Recreation and Sports Studies, Nursing, Computer Science, Information Systems, Education, Philosophy in Interdisciplinary Leadership Studies, and Integrated Studies. Candidates, please remain seated for the supplication. Insignissime praeses, amplissima cancellari, supplicant senatui et hic venerabili collegio gubernatorum, hi baccalaureae vel scholaris in facultate artium, in facultate scientiae, in facultate ingenieria, in facultate silviculturae et rerum naturalium curandarum, in facultate administrationis rerum negotiasorum, in facultate kinesiologica, in facultate nutricia, in facultate rerum computandarum, in facultate educationis, in collegio restaurationis, quorum nomina ac studia iam rite cognita sunt et promulgata, ut admittantur ad proprium baccalaureae gradum in sua quisque facultate.
Placetne vobis senatores, placetne gubernatores, ut his supplicatores admittantur.
Would the supplicants for all the bachelor's degrees now please stand for presentation by the orator and admission by the president. Insignissime praeses, amplissima cancellare, tota universitas, praesenter vobis hosci supplicatoris in supra dictis facultatibus, ut adventantur ad proprium baccalaureae gradum in sua quisque facultate, testorque illos, quoad omnia quae statuta nostra requirent, aptos et idoneos esse.
Ego admitto vos ad gradum baccalaureae in Universitati Novi Brunswicki.
Please now proceed in your assigned order onto the dais for individual acceptance. The Dean of Arts, Dr. James Murray, will present the Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Applied Arts diplomas. Bachelor of Arts with honors, Allison Diane Fradella. Bachelor of Arts, Jamie Rose Carr. Amanda Dawn Donaher. Courtney Suzanne Hallett. Andrew James Kay. Catherine Marie Lister. Caitlin Ann Lyle. Marcy Dawn McGrath. Melissa Erin Monteith. Matthew Lee Nightingale. Callie Sarah Northrup. Alan Joshua William Sabatis Atwin. Alyssa Shirley Dawn Sewell. Kendra Elizabeth Spragg. The Bachelor of Applied Arts, Michelle Elizabeth Dutcher. The Dean of Science, Dr. David McGee, will present the Bachelor of Science diplomas. Bachelor of Science with honors, Todd Frederick Arsenault. Bachelor of Science, Madeline Victoria Charnley. Laura Dawn Green. The Dean of Engineering, Dr. David Coleman, will present the Bachelor of Science in Engineering diplomas. Bachelor of Science in Engineering, Fan Zhang. Mohammed Tabish Ayubi. Marty James Devaney. Luvina Shi Hui Seat. Mark Howard White. The Dean of Forestry and Environmental Management, Dr. Donald Floyd, will present the Bachelor of Science in Environment and Natural Resources diploma. Bachelor of Science in Environment and Natural Resources, Justin Ora Dutcher. The Dean of Business Administration, Dr. Robert Austin, will present the Bachelor of Business Administration diplomas. Bachelor of Business Administration with honors, Tristan James Carl McBride. Michael Christopher McSorley. James Frederick George Blum. Deepak Deal. Crystal Michelle Freak. Aaron William Joseph Keating. Derek Andrew Yeomans. Dana Kenneth Dickinson. Alexander Keith Duncan. Bachelor of Business Administration, Drew Ashton Bradley Cameron. Trevor Nicholas Tarrant. Patrick Alain Adam. Matthew Kenneth James Atkins. Khalil Batchasing. Karen Patricia Frampton. Matthew Garnett Gartshore. Sherry Dawn Lister Harris. Devin Andrew Lawrence. Timothy Stanley Melanson. Jonathan Lionel Pryor. Tyler Dale Tompkins. Brianne Robin Tozer. Ryan Anthony Whitlock. The Dean of Kinesiology, Dr. Wayne Albert, will present the Bachelor of Science in Kinesiology and Bachelor of Recreation and Sports Studies diplomas. Bachelor of Recreation and Sports Studies, Carrie Alana Kent. Kayla Ji Yi Lam. Katie Ashley Ashworth. The Associate Dean of Nursing, Professor Karen Tamlin, will present the Bachelor of Nursing diplomas. Bachelor of Nursing, Kathleen Patricia Avery. Wendy Marie Chadwick. Heather Jean Downs. Cynthia Ray Barbosa. Donna Lynn Kay. The Dean of Computer Science, Dr. Ali Gorbani, will present the Bachelor of Computer Science and Bachelor of Information Systems diplomas. Bachelor of Information Systems, Stephanie Joy Cook. The Dean of Education, Dr. Ann Sherman, will present the Bachelor of Education diplomas. Bachelor of Education, Candace Joy Arbo. Monique Louise Arsenault. Joanna Elizabeth Berry. Alexander Joseph Brown. Janelle Alice Carter. Catherine Marilyn Muriel Coe. Karen Violet Davis. Francine Grace Dedham. Caitlin Victoria Dempster. George Bradley Wayne Dunphy. Jill Ann Dyer. Toby Ann Emerson. Christopher Brian Gardner. Jenna Christine Granger. Tanya Marie Teresa Guitar. Rhonda Lee Hooley Evans. Terry Don Hyatt. Ryan Scott Jones. Melinda Keys. Rebecca Ann Kierstead. Shane O'Brien Kelbaugh. Jason Michel LeBlanc. Paul Andrew MacArthur. Scott Dennis McKay. Colleen Mary McClellan. Marissa Ann Gregor Martin. Megan Elizabeth McCormick. Sarah Elizabeth McIntyre. Erin Margaret Moyer. Megan Dawn Myers. Stacy Janine Ramkahalawan. Chad Michael Ramsey. Andrew Raymond Ritchie. Caitlin Dawn Rockwell. Benji Kyle Shanks. Brittany Jean Shaw. Kelda Venora Smith. Kyle Allen Smith. Andrea Dawn Sobey. Matthew William Sturgeon. Amanda Marie Taylor. Charlotte Kenna Taylor. Maya Catherine Walker. Kelly Suzanne Wilkie. Andrea Bridget Winchester. Catherine Dawn Adams. Tanya Gwen Bartlett. Krista Lynn Burbine. Justin Timothy Chase. Julia Margaret Collins. Brett Charles Corcoran. J. Andrew Sullivan Kuglin. Amanda Jane Doherty. Jared James Doyle. Alicia Evelyn Dunphy. Marcia Dupuy. Cheryl Lynn Edwards. Michael John Ellsworth. Natalie Lise Esty. Sapphire Ida Dawn Firth Irving. Daniel Robert Goggin. Joseph Edmund Gauguin. Jillian Louise Angèle Grandy. Jacob Douglas Hicks. Ellen Susan Higgins. Thank you. Brandon Terry Ingraham. Robert Andrew Ironside. Marcus Andrew Kingston. Amanda Teresa McEachern. Whitney Elena Martin. Sarah McInnes. Lance Nicholas Harry McNeil. Oops. Cheryl Ann Penny. Julie Perrault. Mallory Doris Joy Pinnock. Daisha Lynn Pond. Paige Shannon Rankin. Shannon Mardell Reed. Logan Albert Rush. Carrie Larissa Adrienne Sears. Amanda Marie Sharp. Jason Donald Charles Sterling. Michael Jonathan Stewart. Julie Marie Daigle. Caitlin Lavina Lee Firth. Caitlin, sorry. Shane Francis Guptill. Sabrina Michelle Lyons. Ricky Dale Hamilton. Brian Michael McEachern. Matthew Tyler McCarthy. Andrew Roy Monroe. Julie Ann Paul. Peter William Shaw. The Dean of Renaissance College, Dr. Ted Needham, will present the Bachelor of Philosophy and Bachelor of Integrated Studies diplomas. Natalie Carla Jones. Kelsey Michelle Patterson. Bachelor of Integrated Studies, June Kathleen Bro-Nason. Sheila Barbara Natukunda. This completes the granting of undergraduate degrees.
We shall now confer the master's degrees in course. The candidates will be presented by the Dean of Graduate Studies, Dr. Edmund Biden.
The master's degrees of Arts, Philosophy and Policy Studies, Science, Science and Engineering, Engineering, Science and Forestry, Science and Forest Engineering, Environmental Management, Computer Science, Education, Science and Exercise and Sports Science, Business Administration, and Nursing. Candidates will remain seated for the supplication. Insignissime praeses, implissime cancellari, supplicant senatui et huic venerabili collegio gubernatorum, hi baccalaureae in facultate artium, in facultate scientiae, in facultate ingenieria, in facultate silviculturae et rerum naturalium curandarum, in facultate rerum computandarum, in facultate educationis, in facultate kinesiologica, in facultate administrationis rerum negotiosarum, in facultate nutricia. Quorum nomina ac studia iam rite cognita sunt et promulgata, ut admittanter et proprum magistri gradum in sua quisque facultate.
Placete vobis senatores, placetne gubernatores, ut hi supplicatoris admittanter.
Placet. The supplicants for the aforesaid master's degrees will stand for the presentation and admission by the President. Insignissime praeses, implissime cancellare, tota universitas presento vobis hosca supplicatores in superdictus facultatibus, ut admittanter ad proprium magistri gradum in sua quisque facultate, testorque ilios quoad omnia quae statuta nostra requirant, aptos et idonios esse.
Ego admitto vos ad gradum magistri in Universitati Novi Brunswicki.
You will now proceed in your assigned order on to the dais for individual acceptance. The Acting Assistant Dean of Graduate Studies, Dr. Heather Sears, will present the master's diplomas. Master of Arts, Lauren David Becker. Sarah Jane Denton. Margaret Louise Holland. Joanna Ray Moore. David Lorne Robinson. Joel Patrick Violette. Master of Philosophy and Policy Studies, Courtney Elizabeth Parlee. Master of Science, Amy Melissa Bota. Jason Mathieu Buss. Gregory Robert Scott Kahn. Maria Suley Davis. Leanne Haggerty. Nashaba Islam. Jessica McConaughey. William James Tibble. Christopher John Watson. Master of Science in Engineering, Amir Abdallah Ahmad. Mohammed Ihsan Bagiri Gerkani. Craig Dustin Storm Church. Caitlin Christine Craig. Gregory Chipman Curtis. Muhammad Ali Darabi. Ryan William Esligar. Adam Douglas J. Serena Inez Sanford. Stephen John Wilkins. Master of Engineering, Hasham Mohammed El Higazi. Fathi Abdulsalam Kawan. Alex Thomas Redden. Master of Science in Forestry, Julie Alexandra Henderson. Master of Environmental Management, Andrea May Fowler. Master of Computer Science, Funsho Ugyel. Master of Education, Sarah Ann Bird. Kevin Joseph Burke. Kelly Lynn Breen. Jason Elliott Burns. Teresa Ann Cardinal. Anne-Marie Vivienne Charlebois. Mary Catherine Clark. Thomas Patrick Coulin. Erica Melanie Currie. Jeffrey Trevor Wallace Currie. Mary Christine Davis. Philip Edward Davis. Donna Lee Deely. Monica Ann Doyle. Natalie Marie Flanders. Krista Marie Gorley Sparks. Karen Elizabeth Hola. Allison Michelle Jones. Denise Laura Kelly. Carla Jean Lamb. Kristen Jacqueline Lapierre. Catherine Elizabeth Lehman. Christina Louise McDonald. Erin Rose McDougall. Darla Joan McEachern. Martha Alana Maloney. Daniel Robert Marmon. Cynthia Marlene Martinello. Julie Linda McIsaac. Susan Jean Mills. Jason Stewart Morrison. Sarah Nicole Morrison. Erin Colleen O'Hara O'Neill. Michelle Elizabeth O'Hara. Peter Papalitis. Amanda Michelle Piron. Barry James Power. Dacia Robertson. John Rodriguez. Brenda Ross Jerome. Pamela Jean Shanks. Kent Douglas Shaw. Sean Currie Smith. Angela Gale Stevenson. Kimberly Dawn Strong. Alistair James Tulloch. Beverly Joan White. Christine Dawn Young. Master of Business Administration, Benjamin Allen Coles. Kenneth Ian Lapointe. Julie Danielle Mason. Amber Marie Putnam. Stephen Frederick Smith. Alexander Yasnitsky. Master of Nursing, Laura Lee Gould. Terry Lynn King. Raylyn Catherine Lagasse. Sheris Ann Lynch. Allison Lynn McDonald. Christopher Brent McCarthy. Brittany Louise Simpson. Angela Maria Tower. This concludes the granting of the master's degrees.
We shall now confer the degrees of Doctor of Philosophy. The candidates will be presented by the Dean of Graduate Studies.
The degree Doctor of Philosophy candidates will stand for the supplication. Insignissime praeses implicime cancellari supplicant senatui et huic venerabili collegigo gubernatorum. Ames Baglol, History, Cindy Bro, Biology, Clifford James Butcher, Mechanical Engineering, Heidi Glorianne Butler, English, Dong Dai Doan, Computer Science, Damien Forthome, Physics, Aaron Daniel Granger, Chemistry, Brendan Douglas Guyett, Clinical Psychology, Javed Iqbal, Forestry, Mohammed Hassan Isa, Civil Engineering, Lisa Gertrude Canary, Mathematics, Andreas Kreinbuhl, Mathematics, Lori Ellen Leach, Sociology, Robert Glenn Leonard, History, Leah Rose Elizabeth Levac, Interdisciplinary Studies, Aaron Matthew Mailman, Chemistry, Sean Harrison McClanagan, Geology, Charles Frederick Donald Sakobi, Biology, Deanne Sims, Clinical Psychology, Matthew James Smith, Forestry, Benjamin Tippett, Mathematics, Aaron Elizabeth Whitmore, English. Magistri vel baccalaureae ut admittantur ad gradum doctoris philosophiae.
Placetni vobis senatores, placetni gubernatores, uti supplicatores admittantur.
Plaquette. The candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy will come forward and stand before the dais for admission. Insignissime praeses implicime cancellari tota universitas presento vobis hosca supplicatoris ut admittantur ad gradum philosophiae doctoris testorque ilios quoad omnia quae statuta nostra requirant aptos et idonios esse.
Ego admitto vos ad gradum philosophiae doctoris in Universitati Novi Brunswicki.
You will now proceed in your assigned order onto the dais for individual acceptance. Matthew James Baglall. Dr. Baglall investigated activist mobilization in Halifax from 1960 to 1982. His work focused on the interactions between the Canadian state and the social movements he studied. His work will contribute to the history of Atlantic Canada and Canadian social movements. Cindy Breau. Dr. Breau investigated the ecophysiology, behavior, and movement patterns of juvenile Atlantic salmon during elevated water temperatures and the importance of cool water sites. Clifford James Butcher, mechanical engineering. Dr. Butcher investigated cracking in high-strength automotive alloys and demonstrated the importance of microstructural defects in developing the models which describe these materials. His work for design of lightweight automotive parts to improve safety and fuel economy. Heidi Glorianne Butler, English. Dr. Butler investigated adolescent girlhood in contemporary Atlantic Canadian women's novels. She has demonstrated that authors use adolescent girl characters to analyze and offer alternative to systems of gender oppression. Her findings will contribute to Atlantic Canadian and English Canadian literary studies. Dong Dai Doan, computer science. Dr. Doan investigated a computational method to infer single chromosomes from two copied chromosomes and has proposed efficient algorithms to solve the problem. His findings will be useful to determine how changes in chromosomes relate to genetic diseases. Aaron Daniel Granger, chemistry. Dr. Granger investigated the visible spectra of several diatomic molecules and described the nature of their electronic character. His findings will contribute to increasing the understanding of bonding and interactions in transition metal-containing species. Laurie Ellen Leach, sociology. Dr. Leach investigated women's and men's subjective experiences of using computer technology. Her findings will contribute to knowledge in the field of the social studies of technology, and in particular, gender and technology. Robert Glenn Leonard, history. Dr. Leonard investigated organizational learning in the British Army prior to the First World War. His findings challenged the predominant interpretation that the British Army entered the war hopelessly out of step with the requirements of modern combat. Leah Rose Elizabeth Levac, interdisciplinary studies. Dr. Levac explored the engagement of young mothers in developing public policy. Her findings will contribute to the design of public engagement initiatives and challenge us to include young mothers in discussions about public engagement and youth engagement. Sean Harrison McClenaghan, geology. Dr. McClenaghan investigated geochemical variations in Appalachian massive sulfide deposits and has demonstrated the largest known fractionalization of rare earth elements in the solar system. His findings will contribute to geochemical research of hydrothermal systems worldwide. Charles Frederick Donald Sikobi, biology. Dr. Sikobi has demonstrated that triploid fish have different nutrient requirements than diploid fish. His findings will contribute to our understanding of basic fish physiology, as well as providing valuable information for the world aquaculture industry. Deanne Sims, psychology. Dr. Sims investigated initiations of sexual activity within romantic relationships and has identified factors that contribute to the frequency of sexual initiations, the normative gender-based script for these behaviors, and the importance of sexual initiations for sexual satisfaction. Her findings are important for maintaining a satisfying sexual relationship. Erin Elizabeth Whitmore, English. Dr. Whitmore investigated early Canadian fiction by women and has shown that women writers use deliberate narrative strategies to depict the emerging social agency of girls and women in 19th and early 20th century rural Canada. Her findings will contribute to the fields of early Canadian literature and women's history. This concludes the granting of degrees in course.
Congratulations, graduates. Please note that an English translation of your diploma has been placed inside the folder behind the parchment. Now, as members of the class of 2011, you joined last spring's graduates in becoming the first class to receive the limited edition UNB coin, a new tradition introduced on the occasion of UNB's 225th anniversary. I'd like to thank all those who made this new tradition possible, from the committee who worked hard to get the coin just right, to the associated alumni who made a significant financial contribution in support of the project. We hope this coin will carry your individual memories of a life-changing experience at UNB and serve as a reminder that when you combine an ambitious goal and personal dedication, you can attain anything. Maybe more importantly, let this coin be a symbol that you were, are, and will always be part of our family, the worldwide family of thousands of UNB alumni who work to better our world each and every day. We hope you hold your coin with pride. We are certainly very proud of you. We know you leave us with more knowledge, a greater sense of community, and the potential to make a significant difference in the quality of your own lives and the lives of those you touch as you take the next step in life's journey. Congratulations on a job well done. I now invite representatives of UNB's faculty, staff, and alumni to present the 2011 UNB coin.
Now, the welcome to the new alumni will be given by Heather Nielsen, President of the UNB Associated Alumni. Heather?
Good afternoon, and welcome. Welcome 2011 graduates to our exclusive club. The club is the Associated Alumni. We're a large group, possibly over 70,000 spread all over the world. And although we are large, each and every one of you is a critical member. When you become a member of a club, you automatically have a responsibility. Our responsibility as graduates is to ensure that UNB retains its excellence in course delivery, strives to attract quality students, and that we brag about UNB in our home communities. We can support UNB by attending local events on campus or events that are held across the country. Please don't be shy to organize one yourself. If possible, I promise I'll attend. And if you don't have your coin in your pocket, and I have mine, then it's on your tab. We also can show our support by eventually sharing some of our treasure. Over the 149 years since the association's founding, a tradition has evolved whereby today's students are helped by yesterday's students through our scholarships and awards program. This year, we will be giving out more than 100,000 thanks to generous alum. Congratulations to all of you on this special day. Be proud of your hard work, and remember that UNB grads make a significant difference in our world. Our alum are world-class, educators, researchers, entrepreneurs, engineers, and pioneers. In many ways, we punch well above our weight. Sometimes we're a little timid about telling the world about how great we are, how smart our students are, and that UNB grads are simply better looking than most. Well, we're not timid today because the secret is out, and the class of 2011 are the best and brightest we have to offer. Rest assured your UNB degree will serve you well, like many successful alum ahead of you. You will be able to hold your own in any context, anywhere, and with anybody. Please keep in touch, and I look forward to seeing you at events on campus and elsewhere.
Thank you very much, Heather. On behalf of the Chancellor, the Board of Governors, the Senate, and the faculty, I extend to all who have received their degrees here this afternoon our most sincere congratulations on your achievement and our very best wishes for the future. I'd also like to acknowledge that we have here on the platform, in addition to members of the administration and our Board of Governors, our deans, we also have representatives from the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, the Canadian Armed Forces. We also have Michael Maynard, the president of the New Brunswick College of Craft and Design, as well as Mayor Woodside. I'd like to acknowledge their presence and ask you to give them a round of applause. And no, I wasn't forgetting Minister Coulombe, the Minister of Post-Secondary Education, Training and Labour, who looks after universities and colleges in our province for the government, and Minister Leonard, our Minister of Energy. Thank you both for being here. I believe, wait a minute, I believe their presence here acknowledges the importance of post-secondary education to the future of New Brunswick and the important role that you, our graduates, have to play in that future. Thank you for being here. It's also a pleasure to acknowledge that we have here with us, in addition to our graduates, many, many members of your families and your friends who have come here to see you on this very proud day. I know that for many of you, you would not have been here without their support that they lend to you, and I would ask you to stand and acknowledge them with a round of applause. Graduates, please. Be seated. You know, and as you walked across the stage with your happy smiles, I thought I heard a lot of relief from the bleachers. Thank you to the St. John String Quartet, David Adams, Larissa Chitty, Christopher Buckley, and Sonia Adams, trumpeter Robert Dutton, for providing the music for our 57th Convocation. Thank you, you sounded fabulous. I would also like to thank all those who have assisted with the arrangements for this convocation. At the conclusion of this ceremony, everyone is cordially invited to attend a reception in the atrium of the Student Union building. Please note that the Associated Alumni will be offering a diploma framing service at the Student Union building. And it is now my great pleasure to invite Sarah Farquhar, a student in the concurrent Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science program, to come up onto the platform and lead us all in the singing of O Canada. Would everyone please rise and remain in their places until the academic procession has retired. Sarah?